What's the latest and the greatest?
I would never think to try a job training program. I know how to work.
Say I don't want to go. Say you don't want to go. Say you don't want to go. Say you don't want to go. Sit your ass down.
We should talk about Jesse, of course. His story and his way of delivering the classes, the brutal honesty. Is that something that is in the handbook, or is that all him?
I think it's him, and I think they're trying to find a way to create a handbook that essentially makes it so it doesn't just have to be him. He is, the reality of Jesse's life is so complicated, and his own story, which I don't want to, spoiler alert, I don't want to reveal because of how the movie is structured. But he really understands both the world of the service provider and the world of the students of CARA. And part of what makes him so powerful is that his legitimacy within to the participants, that they know that he knows what they're going through.
Well, he's such a central part, and in a lot of documentaries, that is set up first, but you decided to put it at the end. Tell me why you decided to do it that way.
Well, part of it is that's how all the individuals learn. On the very last day, he tells his story. But again, not wanting to reveal anything. But so it kind of naturally flowed that way. But also he is a bit of a mystery, and we wanted to hold some of that back.
Yeah, the hope was that the audience would sort of have some of the same experience that the participants have, where they're going, who is this guy?
Right.
What did he do in his previous life? Where did he come from? And why don't I know anything about him? And it's also part of the reason why we sort of do the dressing scene at the beginning and then at the end, because the hope is, I think, whether people are thinking this consciously or not, that you experience that differently the second time, because you understand a little bit more suddenly about him.
It works fantastically. That's the jaw-dropping moment, the reveal at the end. I'm so glad you structured it that way, instead of introducing him as like, oh, I know what you guys are going through because I went through it, and saving that for the end was very powerful. Part of the reveal of the process is having people confront themselves, and a couple of those instances, especially with a mirror, the scene with a mirror, I found really powerful.
Yeah, we were able to observe it twice, and both times I would almost describe it as like holding your breath. It was really just so intense. You didn't hear any sound going on in that room. It was just so quiet. Just a very, very intense for all of us. And, we've talked about how every day, but certainly that day, leaving the classroom and going out in the parking lot and packing up our gear every day, the collective crew, the directors, would just kind of have this massive exhale and just talk about like how powerful it was for us to observe, but also learn these lessons that Jesse was imparting, because I think they're universal.
Well, it made me look in the mirror differently, I'll tell you that.
That when you see the people at the beginning avoiding the mirror, they're kind of looking up and they don't want to do it. That is what we all did too. I mean, we're not in this, and we're still kind of, please don't put the mirror in front of. And there were moments like the last day after Jesse tells his story, and we couldn't find a way to include this, but the very end of Transformations is one of the most powerful things that I've ever been involved in. And there's footage where I have the camera, and you can actually, the take is the whole shot is ruined by the fact that you can hear me sniffling in the camera mic, because it's just so, we're all crying. Everybody in the room is crying, and that's how overwhelming it was for everyone.
I don't know, for me, and I was not there to film this scene, but Alisa's reunion with her kids is just one of the most magical things. Yeah, it just gets me every time. It's really beautiful.
It's
She's a
so
great mom.
joyous and emotional and
Yeah.
gut wrenching.
Yeah, and it's also the first real glimpse in the film of, you know, the thing that CARA and Jesse really talk about all the time, which is, you know, family and community and love.